What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to episode 52 of the podcast. I'm here with the fella Jovan Clark, right?
That is
JJ.
the name, yes.
Jovan Clark.
Jay.
It's the boy. We've been hanging out for a couple weeks now. I met him down here. We're gonna dive a little bit into Jovan's life, how he ended up here, how he created his reality, trademark, copyright, whatever. And basically just go with the flow like we usually do. You know, it's just flow through
Wait,
the
you're not
convo.
gonna say you're here with me?
Oh, fuck, Abe.
Guys, and I'm here too, you know, so like...
We're in Abe's crib, so I thought that was like a given. But yes, we are here with the boy, Abe and Jovan, my two homies, basically who I spend most of my time with down here, honestly. So I'm very grateful for these two gentlemen. But yeah, so we'll get started. Jovan, you're from...
From Lancaster, PA, right outside of Philly. It's about an hour outside. Grew up there my whole life. Went to school in Westchester, PA, which is also outside of Philly. Lived in New York for a few months and then moved here in January.
So what took you to New York?
Modeling. So I started that 2019. No, 2018. I started December 2018.
So very end of 2018.
Yeah, and then I modeled for about a year, and then once I graduated, I was gonna move to New York, and Corona happened, so
Yeah, fuck.
I ended up here.
How'd you get into modeling?
I started in photography actually. I started taking a lot of pictures of a lot of my friends, and then eventually over time they just were like, "Yo, you should hop into these pictures. Like, you should start modeling. Like, you always tell people how to pose and like know what to do behind the scenes. So like you have the look, and you might as well do it yourself."
Right on.
And
So-
at the time, I didn't like taking pictures. I used to actually hate getting my picture taken.
Really?
Yeah. So I made it a challenge for myself to get good at it, and
Here
here
we
I
are.
am today. Yeah.
Down in
Creating a
Atlanta.
reality. I manifested it.
Was that ever an intention to go into modeling, or would you just kind of like follow the flow of
Yeah,
things?
it was more for fun at first, just because I thought it was cool. I just like art in general, so I figured it was another way to express yourself in an artistic way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of got into the modeling industry and did the whole editorial, all that stuff. And I like the commercial stuff now, so like Nike.
Yeah,
Gap,
you worked
like,
for Nike?
Nah.
You're getting
Recently,
there.
I did Journeys. I worked with T-Mobile and Metro PCS for a commercial.
Really?
Yeah,
I
just
didn't,
did that.
I didn't even know that.
I did that last week. Yeah.
What?
I move low key. I move in silence. It's the best way to be.
That's wild.
But, yeah.
So you moved down to Miami for what? Next, right? The company?
Yeah. So next, I signed with Next.
Wasn't that
December.
like Steve Jobs' second company?
Next, the modeling agency.
Okay. I'm pretty sure he went on to create a company after he got fired from Apple called Next.
I
Really?
know
Like they're
that.
still around.
I was like, the modeling agency? No. Yeah, maybe he did. I don't know about that.
So
He
then
got into modeling late in life.
you blew up on Instagram in a year, right? So it took you under a year to get to 86K you're at right now?
I think I had like 4K, probably around this time last year. What is this, May?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like I started in April last year. I started TikTok, and then trying to create Instagram content.
So what do you think?
build a
What do you think
following.
drove most of your traffic?
I think TikTok originally, just because you blow up so fast, which helped. But then my TikTok and my Instagram are, I want to say, two separate people, but the styles of my TikToks versus the styles of my Instagram posts. And
You
my
kind of just
story
gotta
posting.
like give the people what they want to see. You know?
Exactly.
Like when you first start posting, it's like you figuring out what people want to see, and then once you see what they want to see, then you just execute on it.
And I feel like I'm trying to shift now. Like that's what I was saying to you before.
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
trying to shift my TikTok to be from what it was to like what I want it to be.
Because you built the foundation, so now that you have the
Yeah.
foundation, you can.
You lose a lot of followers from changing.
Yeah,
your,
but you
your
gain the
style,
right
but
ones.
then once it's just a process of like switching around. So I did that with Instagram too. So it's been going pretty well now.
On TikTok, are you posting modeling content, or what type of content are you bringing out?
I guess you could consider it that.
I guess so. I don't even know how to explain
What's
it.
modeling
Pretty boy
content?
content.
It's
like,
pretty boy content. There we
Yeah,
go.
all that. Like the
Gotcha.
whole. Like,
Which is not Jovan, but like you have to do it. You have
like
to do
I
it.
understand what I look like and what people want to see, so that's what did
Yeah,
really well on TikTok for a while, and then I kind of got tired of always having to like sit there and sing along the songs. So I was like, let me just do something different.
I feel like a lot of the times people, like, sometimes people just have gifts, but they just don't want to acknowledge them, you know? Like, the more you focus on utilizing like your strong suits, like you build a foundation practically. So like I forget what the quote was, but it was fire, and it's basically when you focus on your like strong attributes and focus on strengthening those even more rather than like the things that you're not good at and trying to get good at. Does that make sense? Am I connecting dots?
100%. Yeah. I think it goes back to what we were talking about in the last podcast of honoring your energy, right? And I think we live in a culture where the grass is always greener, right? That on the other side of we forget to like look in the mirror and say, man, like if I do a TikTok and sing along to a song, like I can utilize this, you know, and like own that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
So that's kind of how I got started though, and then I like Instagram better just because I feel like I like pictures. I like to be able to put like long captions. I just like the platform itself. So I feel like I put more into Instagram than I do TikTok. But I understand what TikTok has like potential wise and way you can connect.
Fucking insane, bro. Because you just never know whose screen you're gonna come across.
Yeah, like, that's very true. There's people I've met here that are like, I know who you are.
Isn't that the craziest thing?
I'm like, what the fuck? That's wild. But like, it's cool at the same time because
I see you at Whole Foods every Tuesday.
Some kid, he told me that some girl went up to him and just put a FaceTime in his face and like didn't say anything. It was just,
I was at the Hard Rock Cafe the other day and I've never said a single word to like any of the people that were there. Knew 4 or 5 people that I was friends with, and within like the first 5 to 10 minutes of sitting there like talking to one of my friends, this girl just randomly comes up and was like this, and I was just like
what?
Looking around, it was just like a girl like waving on the screen like saying what's up, and I was like, hey, like how's it going, blah blah blah. I was like, I can't really hear what they're saying, like it's loud.
Dude, was she drunk or no? You don't think so?
The girl showing the
girl who had the phone.
No, she wasn't.
Bro, it's the worst when they're drunk. Because like at Wharf, bro, oh my god. Yeah. Like these people come up and they're like, hey,
so close.
You want to make a TikTok with me? I'm like, no, not at all.
This is not the occasion. No.
Bro, it's crazy because like in Miami, they like because big fish, small pond basically is the situation you were in. Like you weren't gonna get recognized in your small hometown basically. So then you come down to Miami, and there's fucking hella people here. So you're like,
that's so true. Yeah.
It humbles you though.
Yeah.
Because like when I was in Ohio, I'm like. I thought I was like the shit for a while. I was like, but then again, it was also like depressing though, because I'm like, damn, no one else is like really motivated to do shit around here.
Yeah, that's why I had to leave.
Dude,
it just wasn't my vibe. I'm like, this is very much.
Did you come down to vacation at all, or you just send it?
Just send it.
Respect.
I'm high risk, high reward. Like that's just how I live my lifestyle. And no matter what, I know I'm gonna make it work. Like I said to you earlier, like
bro.
Everything always works in my favor because I truly believe it. So I just shoot my shot and I just make shit happen. I was just like, I'm going to move to Miami and I'm going to make the most out of it. And I know my life's going to be great from here on.
Being able to adapt to any situation you're given, bro, you'll succeed. Like, that was one of the things that gave my mom a lot of comfort when I dropped out. I'm like, Mom, like, look, like, any circumstance you give me, I'm going to be able to adapt and I'll be able to get through it, like, with flying colors. Like, just because, like, you have that level of confidence. You got that, like, cock weight, basically.
It's so awesome when you're able to develop that confidence in yourself because it's like, okay, like, I'll be good.
I'll be good. You know? You trust yourself.
For me, especially getting into entrepreneurship, it took a while for that to develop, I guess. Because like at the beginning, like it's like I was winging it, you know, as many of us do.
Sink or swim, yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually you start learning, you get your skills up, and it's like, cool. Like I know how to fish.
Yeah,
you know, like if anything happens, I know how to fish. It's like it's cool. Like it's like.
I feel like the biggest thing nowadays is so many people see like what we do, and they're like, oh, I'd love to do that. It's so inspiring. Like, it's so this and that. And nobody starts. Like, you're just saying, like, you have to learn how to fish. If you don't start, if you don't buy a pole, if you don't learn what fishing is,
start
like, all these
spending
things.
time, like learning how to tie the hook. Like,
and everyone's like, oh, I don't have the finances for it. But then they go and buy Starbucks every day. And it's like, if you put the money into yourself and what you do, and then, like, understand how to get out there and do what you have to do, like, that's how you become an entrepreneur. And, like, you just
sending
like,
it.
That's how you literally learn how to fish
I
and, like, build your own wealth.
For sure. I think it goes back to like the grass is always greener. People see you, they see Alex, people with huge audiences are like, fuck, like it's like you guys are like already there, right? It doesn't seem realistic, but on the last podcast we also talked about honoring your journey, right? And it's like cool, like I'm at 0. It's like cool, like this is where I'm at. I'm gonna move from this place with peace and not like, man, like I wish I was where Jovan is or where Alex is at, right? And just like cool, like this is where I'm at. Like I'm aligned with it.
Yeah, Jovan said this thing earlier, and it was like, I was telling him how I get FOMO sometimes because like there's this Triller Fest in Miami that looked fucking insane, but
Trailer Fest.
Trailer Fest. Yeah, just a bunch of trailers. Shit was lit. No, it was Trailer Fest. It's basically a huge app, and like Jake Paul was there. It was right on Key Biscayne, and I didn't even fucking know about it. And then
it's like a bigger, smaller event. Like they had like Little Wayne and 2 Chainz.
I know, and I'm like, dude,
Tyga, like yeah, all those people.
So I was telling him how I was like getting FOMO about it because I don't want to invite myself places, but like I don't have an established friend group here yet, so I feel like I'd just be like, hey, what are you doing tonight? Like type shit. So I was like, damn, sometimes I get FOMO. He goes, I don't get FOMO because like regardless of what I'm doing, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I was like, damn.
I feel like that's just a mindset that I've moved with for a while. Like I never, like even sitting here right now having this conversation, like I truly believe I'm supposed to be here right now, like having this conversation, do whatever I'm supposed to do. And like I said to you earlier, like listen to your signs. Like if you hear something enough or like see something enough times, it almost seems weird to you that you're like, this should mean something to
there are
me.
moments, for sure.
100%.
For sure. The universe speaks to you.
Oh yeah, it does.
You just gotta pay attention. Yeah, like good.
But that's what I'm saying. You're not missing out on anything because you might receive a sign right here, right now, of something that you're thinking like.
It's a really comforting thing to think too.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, maybe I don't need to be doing. And then the constant question people always ask themselves, am I doing enough?
That's my problem. That's the problem I always have is enough is never enough for me. But I've learned to like. You were just saying enjoying your process and like really feeling like you know where you're at now and finding where you're at later. Like I feel like I found comfort in where I'm at because I know for a fact I'm gonna get there one day. It's just like how long, and my enough is never enough for me. Is like I want it now. Like everyone wants instant gratification, so it's just a constant reminder. Like I'm always trying to do the most, but that's what got me here. And it's just like, how do I balance?
Yeah, how do you like not overwhelm yourself
and like getting ahead at the same time? Like I constantly go through like that up and down.
So Abe, what do you think of that? I know you're scheming a good answer.
Yeah, no, dude. Like you get there, dude. You get there, right? And it's like, that's a moment. But it's like it sounds so cliche, but it's a journey. It's a journey. Like for me, I know one of my first goals when I got into entrepreneurship was getting to this $10,000 a month mark. And dude, like I hustled for probably like 2 years to get to it. And I was like, man, like, oh my god, like I'm gonna get to it this month, dude. And I got to it, and it was so fleeting, bro.
Yeah.
It was so fleeting, and by the end of the day, like I had already like all that thrill and energy and excitement of getting to 10K was gone, and I was like, made me realize, wow, like it's not the 10K, dude. It's like the lessons, it's the journey, it's the clients, it's the fucking up some deals, right? It's the learning, it's the time it took, it's the writing on my journal every single day. I'm gonna manifest this shit, right? And it's like you're rereading The Power of Now right now, and we're talking about listening to omens, right? It's the tuning into what's going on right now, right? And accepting your journey, accepting where you're at this point. I love what you're saying, like that, like how you think that wherever you're at, that's where you're supposed to be. Because if you're truly there, then that's when like synchronicities start to happen because you're paying attention.
Yeah, like
and you get to see those omens.
Yeah,
you get to see those omens because you're here, right? And you're not wishing that you were somewhere else. So it's been like a huge thing for me of like, okay, cool, like, dude, me too. Like, I want to be somewhere else. You know, like I have goals, but it's like, okay, cool, like I'll get to them.
Yeah,
it's like humans nowadays. Like I'm literally like I can speak for like almost the whole human race. Like we're always like, what's next? What's next? What's next?
But this is what we're fed from like a kid. Like think about when you go to school and like you're put into a system where like even iPads and like how you can access information and Google and like everything. Like we live in a society that everything's so instant. And, like that's why everyone's so anxious and you're feeding people coffee and all this like.
Dude,
to make your mind race like
alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, THC. Porn, fucking dopamine every scroll you have.
Dopamine's out.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, it's fucking...
So you get off, like, I've noticed it, like, when I'm, like, on my phone time, then I get off my phone, I'm like, I need some level of, like, input to come in. I'm like, whoa, like, I'm a fucking addict.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need music, or I need a podcast, or I need something. Yeah. And it's so hard to, like, just kind of come back to silence.
Bro, one of my friends, like, I was trying to talk to him, because, like, they said they have, like, some mental shit, and I'm like, how often do you give yourself like just 10 minutes to just nothing, like just think? And they're like, I can't do that. I start to feel like I'm missing something. I'm like, shit, like how many people do you think are like that where they can't?
Most of our society I think is now like that.
Yeah.
like something that brought me a lot of peace is actually starting social media, because I switched my mindset from, I was a person that before
Consumed.
social media turned into like an algorithm, you could scroll and it would be hours. I would scroll until I hit the last time I liked something, and I would look through hours on hours of Instagram or like Twitter or whatever. Like then they changed the algorithm, and then I slowly switched into like taking it from a business side, like a influencer, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like I use my phone less now because it's so much
Because
work
it's like your job now.
that like when I get to like put my phone down and have like conversations like this or do whatever else I can, like you see I was answering comments and DMs for so long.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the whole time I'm like, yo, I can't wait to get off my phone now, that I think it almost turns into people want to be on their phone to get a distraction, and then once it becomes your work, your escape is real life. And I think
it's nice.
it's almost opposite for us, is like the crazy thing.
It's so nice to be able to, like, because the way I saw it is, I'm like, well, okay, everyone is on this. Every human is going to have social media, so why would I just sit here and not utilize the fucking shit out of it? Like, why would I just be a consumer, you know, when I can be a fucking producer, entrepreneur, like.
That's kind of, yeah, I saw it the same way, and then I slowly took the path of, like we were talking about before, where I was figuring out social media and, like, the ways that you figure out your, like, platform when you start, and then how you form it into, like, your own. And now I feel like I went from it being like, oh yeah, I want to, like, grow my following, to now I put out very positive messages and just, like, real shit that I think it's important for everyone to see, because a lot of our Instagram,
get vulnerable and connect, bro.
Our feeds are usually just like all the stuff that you're fed and like that are gonna make you more anxious. And you were saying like you hit that $10,000 mark, but then you see someone on a yacht and you're like, I want that yacht. So this isn't enough to make $10,000 a month. But that's happening because of social media. That's happening because like your surrounding area. So I feel like teaching people to control their mindset is so important. I feel like that's why I try to do my social media like the way I do now.
For sure.
Because I think it makes a difference.
I've been thinking a lot about what gives me joy. And I look at the things that give me joy, and they're not things that you buy with money, bro. It's playing my drums. It's us hanging out
with
and
your
like
cat.
Right. It's me hanging out with this dude. It's like reading a good book, right? Like things that don't like
no
kicking in
no
with
material
the homies.
Possession type shit.
No, it's like, dude, like honestly, dude, like I love my car. I enjoy driving it. But it's not something that gives me tremendous.
And the thing is,
amount of joy. It did for a while. Like,
When you first get the car, you're like, fuck yeah. But then like
the first week,
after like 3 months of having the car, it's just like, all right, what's the next car I'm gonna get?
Yeah.
Because it's just a material thing. Like it's not gonna bring you that fulfillment that you're looking for. The only thing that's going to bring you that fulfillment is fucking within you. Like
it's self-awareness of what truly brings you joy, and it's not what society tells you it's gonna bring you joy. It's not the having 20 females come through every week, right? Like it's not that, although like
sick,
right?
To each his own.
It's not the clothes, it's not the car. It's this, dude. It's honestly for me, it's feeling at peace with myself. And being able to enjoy myself around other people. And that's what brings me the most joy in life. You know, because it's like cool. You drive your car and it's like nice. 30 minutes, but then like most people, they get somewhere and they feel like shit. They're not at peace with themselves, you know.
Half the time now you just think you're driving and like at first you're like, I love this car, but then after like 2 weeks you're thinking, you're not even realizing the car you're driving.
Autopilot.
You're like, you're just like in your thoughts, like
it's your car now. You know,
exactly.
It's like,
it doesn't matter. I agree with that 100%. I'm the same way. Like especially coming here from like the area I grew up in. I mean, you know, being around Lancaster, Reading, like all that, like from seeing that to coming here, like I've never been on a yacht. Like I've never seen half the stuff I
and now you're jumping off of them.
And like like the same with social media. Like I wasn't the kid that was like getting hello attention when I was younger. Like I was always been like a different personality.
Yeah, there are times where like I'm driving through Miami or just like on the boat, and I'm just like, dude, like
it doesn't feel real.
Yeah, you're like
I feel like I realized that when I came here. Like I'm glad I came here because I see
there's levels to this shit.
Seriously, like this shit. You meet famous people and they're going through shit worse than you are, and you're like, wow, like these people are famous, like they're like a figure, and you're like, I've helped you with your anxiety. Like that to me is so rewarding. The fact that I get to like go and do something like that. Like I don't even care about showing up, like you said, with 20 girls and these cars and this and that. I'll show up in a tank top and gym shorts and be like, I'm glad I just got to help you make your day better. I hope you can make someone else's day better. Like, just that's rewarding to me. Like, that's all that really matters.
Dude, connecting with people on a real level, like it's like you're actually connecting. You're peeling away the layers. Because this book I'm reading,
it fills your soul.
Like, like nothing fills your soul like actually connecting with people, having a down to earth conversation. Because I'm reading this book called Notes from the End of Everything, and it's like, it basically says like none of us have real conversations anymore. Like, no humans are getting below the surface and like getting to the real roots of who a human actually is, and like knowing like an actual conversation. And it's so fulfilling when you can actually have like a conversation with someone, like you can look at them and be like, I'm here for you, bro. Like, or just like connecting and like agreeing, being on the same page as someone. It's just like getting to know them, I guess. It is.
Yeah. I think that's one of the cool things about podcasts. I could see in a dystopian future where you go to a podcast and have a real conversation with people, because the world's like so like connected these days, where it's like, dude, in a podcast, like, we're not checking our phones, we're like truly here, you know. And I think it's like, dude, like for example, the last podcast I did before this, like an hour went by like this, and I was like, dude, it felt like 10 minutes.
Isn't that so nice when you can just put the fucking phone away and just like be here? Because like,
oh my god,
it's like a cliche statement, like time flies when you're having fun.
Yep.
And we were talking about, like earlier, we were talking about how there's things we have ahead in like June, July, this and that, and it seems like a month, 2 months, like you have so much time, but like that week will go by so fast it'll feel like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, like it's gonna come and then you're gonna be like, oh shit, it's here, and then it's gone. Like, what the?
And you're just saying about being present. Like, I feel like all the conversations we've had today have just been like a circle where it's just like being present is so important. Like finding peace with yourself, because you can't do those things. Like, you're just gonna keep looking ahead and wanting more until like you find peace with yourself being here.
It's so important to not only find yourself present, but in those types of moments where you like are in love with being alive, but like also the moments where like you're alone on a Saturday night in your room and you're bored as fuck. Like, also being present there and understanding how temporary that is, and like looking how you can utilize that time to develop yourself even a fucking inch. Like, because that present moment is gonna be shifted by a new present moment in a blink of an eye as well. Like, there is no such thing as tomorrow or next week, because it's just a present moment. That's like, we're experiencing eternity right now, which is one of the craziest things I've ever heard, because like eternity is the present, and the present is just forever. So we're experiencing eternity, so we're in this little super fucking small sliver of eternity. Like, even if we live to 100, that's still an insanely small blip of eternity that we got to experience. But that's what we're experiencing, is eternity. But we're all putting ourselves in these fucking false realities of like 5-10 years out, like trying to anticipate what that's going to be like. Am I going to be successful enough? Am I going to have what I want to have? Like, I mean, you can manifest that shit all you want, but if you're not taking continuous action in the present moment, that you're the only thing you really have control over is, then the worrying is just going to do collateral damage, and it's not going to help whatsoever.
Yeah, I'd say my thing's like ride the wave. Like, when
wave.
You always say like it's gonna be ups and downs. Like, I feel like it's just like something you have to accept.
Yin and yang,
you have you have all these infinite things that could happen in the future. And like being present, you ride the wave. Like, dude, you never know what it's gonna take you tomorrow. Like, as long as you just stick with it, like, you'll be fine.
Literally infinite possibilities, bro.
Yeah.
Infinite possibilities, like
you don't know what's gonna be thrown at you ever.
Like, if we leave this crib, we leave this crib 10 minutes later or 10 minutes earlier, like, we could run into like people that we wouldn't have ran into. Like, on my way to your hot tub at your dad's house the other day, I got recognized by this dude, and he said that the only reason he drove by me at that time is because the valet took 20 extra minutes than it should have to get his car. No. So he drove by me, and he was like, no fucking way I met you. And it turns out that this dude is going to help me with my business, like, a lot. Like, my one-on-one business. Mm-hmm. And it's just crazy, because we've never, like, what are the odds? Like, he's driving, and I'm walking, like, right there at that moment in time. And he's moving into my building, which is fucking insane. Like, what are the fucking chances of that? Mm-hmm. And if I would have went down the elevator 10 seconds earlier, like, everything happens exactly how it's supposed to. Right, bro? Like, that's fuck. And how I met Jovan is crazy, too, bro. Like, literally some girl from my high school posted a picture of Jovan. I slid up making fun of her for it. I'm like, you fucking simp. Like, come on, bro. And then she goes, he's in Miami, like, you should DM him. So I literally just DM Jovan. I'm like, you in Miami, like, let's link. And he goes, and Jovan's like, I don't even answer my DMs, but...
Yeah, I don't. I just started recently, honestly, and I don't know, like, I was one of those people that, like, I just trust whatever happens. Like I said, like, it's all meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, fuck it, I'll answer it. And now it became, like, one of my coolest friends here. And, like, that's happened with, like, 3 or 4 people. Like, everyone's DM that I've answered while I've been here have ended up becoming, like, one of my good friends.
It's fucking insane. Like, just literally so many, like, micro events, but, like, you make one decision and then just domino effects. And then now... Like me meeting you, like if I didn't have the podcast with Jeremy, I wouldn't like.
Because insane, right? Like, if you had answered that DM, right? Like, who's this dude that's messaging me?
Literally, who's fucking Coach Jeremy? Like,
literally, that's like the smallest things, though. Like, it's like the crazy.
It's like listening to your intuition.
Yeah.
And like being in tune with that.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes it's like you get the urge to do something. Sometimes it's like as little as like, man, like, I'm gonna take a break now. You go on social, see something, connect with someone. And it's like trusting that, but it's like you have to really be tuned in.
And it's also why you lead with pure intentions, because like you can make a decision that you do like today that you led with love and like you just gave to someone that like you didn't even know, but you led with a pure intention, and like fucking 6 months later they remember that you did that for them. They like their connection at like an event, and like they introduce you to these people like.
It's everything, dude. It's what we were talking about earlier. Whether it's like, are you approaching a relationship from like, man, like, how can I help you, right? Or what can I get from you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And two totally different energies, even if it's the same event. And one energy, dude, people feel that shit. People feel when it's like, well, I'm out to get you, right? Or it's like, or like there's like something behind your intentions, and that turns into how it's received, dude. And I think we're so tuned into other people, more so than we realize. And I think the science at some point later on is gonna like tap into like some like wave that connects us all. That like it's here right now,
it's
but
real. It has to be
right. Like people know, and people feel that
the energy shift.
For sure, dude. Your intentions, and there's this great book called Power versus Force that talks about it's not the thing, but where it's coming from, right? So I could sit here. And I could talk to you guys with 2 different intentions. One's to connect, or the other one's to appear smart and to boost my ego. One's going to be effortless. One's going to give me life. One's going to give you guys life. That's connecting, right? Yeah. If I'm boosting my ego, that requires energy. That's going to drain me. And you guys are going to resist that energy because it's not an energy that's a positive energy, right? So then it's really interesting because it shows you the 2 sides of every intention that you can have. The one that's powerful and the one that's forceful. And it gives you such awareness to, you can flow with the universe, right? By moving from a genuine place of like, man, like I'm here to connect. I want the best for you. Like I have good intentions, right? And like you'll flow with the universe. Or you can really force your way in. And that's like, requires so much energy. And like, if I'm forcing my way in physics, there's a counter force that I'm going to be countering. And I've experienced with both energies. When you're approaching life from like that just genuine high vibrational emotions, magic happens. Like literally magic happens. Yeah. You answer the right DM, you meet the right person, the right door opens, and next thing you know, you're in a totally different place. You're like, well, like, how'd I get here? Well, it's because you're putting good vibes out into the world.
Dude, and they're always going to be reciprocated.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you don't chase, you attract. Like, if you ever have to chase a person that you want to be with, like, you know, fucking take a few steps back, bro, and reflect on yourself. Why would you, like, people need to understand that they're chasing like validation at that point. They're not chasing the person. They're chasing like, just accept me, come on, validate me.
The other person's like, oh,
yeah, like dude,
I don't,
like
stop putting that on me.
Yeah, like, and that goes.
It's like it's like you're saying.
It's forceful.
You gotta let it flow. You can't force that.
No.
Especially with relationships, bro. Especially with relationships. Not even like intimate relationships. Literally just friendships. Like if you're trying to force a friendship with someone that like is cooler than you, like they're gonna get that vibe that you just want to be friends with them because they're in the position they're in. Like it's all about just fucking leading with love. I love what you just said about the changing the narrative from what can I get from you to how can I help you. Yeah. Like that will get you fucking anywhere you need to in life.
For sure, dude. And dude, in business, when it comes to sales, that energy is so palpable. Like, I've been able to land deals that I shouldn't have landed because I approach the situation from a mindset of like, I genuinely want to help you. For example, with you, dude, I think you felt that on the call.
Yeah.
Where it was like, dude, like it's not easy to get someone to give you their last dollars, right? And to have that level of trust. And I see a lot of people that when they first get into business, you elevate as you elevate your consciousness. You also elevate your business. But in the beginning, you're just in survival mode. It's like I need to put food on the table.
Yeah.
And survival mode, scarcity mode. It's like, man, like I need to get this deal. Like, what sales tactic can I employ here
it's
to
like,
make sure that I get this deal? And the other person's like, and that taints the whole fucking relationship, because they almost feel like.
They can feel your neediness for the money.
100%. It's the same thing in relationships, right? When
you're needy for a relationship, you're literally just showing them that you're not complete with yourself.
Yeah, or you're manipulating things to make them think that you're cool or that you're not.
Yeah.
Or make them like chase you for your attention, like all this shit, right? It taints the whole relationship. But as you evolve in business and you evolve in life and you evolve your consciousness, you start to see the world in a different way. Then things like that, again, dude, like you start to really experience that magic where it's like you can look at someone and say like, dude, like I can help you, like trust me, you know, because and that energy is there, that like cool, like
you trust.
Yeah, because like
you can feel the energy.
And you were saying about like you can almost feel it with certain things, like there is something out there that you can like feel, and there is a wavelength almost.
100%.
I feel like that's one thing that people don't like actually practice, is like understanding other people's vibes. Like that's a real thing. Like you can go into a room and not even meet the person. You can just look at them.
You're like, I'm gonna fuck with you.
You can like feel it. Like there are certain people that you can just, they have an energy about them that you're like, yeah, I could see like that's a good energy. I want to be able to like be around and fuck with. Then there's other people that like you see it and you're just like, I can tell you're fake. Like you can just see it.
And some people don't. It's like that person that everyone likes, and you're just like, I
don't have to shake your hand. Like I could be from like here to like over in the bathroom over there, and I can
like that's a snake right there.
I could just see it. Like eventually, you just get good enough that you pick up people's vibes, like without even.
I think it's just because a lot of people aren't even conscious of the whole energy thing.
True.
Like that everything is vibrating, everything has energy, especially fucking humans. Like, oh my god. Like when you're vibrating in fear and fucking like anxiousness, like you're vibrating so low. That's why you feel so heavy when you're anxious. You're just like, oh. But when you're vibrating with love, like that energy field is so fucking big and powerful and it's radiant. Like it's attracting.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a gift right now.
Right now?
Yeah, which is cool. Like I learned it from one of my journey leaders. I hopped on a call with her yesterday, and she showed us this thing. So it's an instant way to feel a massive amounts of love. And I was a little skeptical at first, like what? Is your camera still on? Let me just make sure.
Guys, my camera, it likes to fuck with me and us towards the end. It just cuts out. I don't know why, but it was getting lengthy anyway. So maybe it was a sign that it happens for a reason. You know, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens exactly how it's supposed to. So. It cut out
really fire content.
Yeah, like that was fire.
That was super hot.
Last couple of minutes were fire, but maybe it's just we'll save it for a rainy day or some shit. But I appreciate you coming out, bro.
Always.
Appreciate you.
Anytime.
Good to meet you, bro.
You as well.
I appreciate the hospitality as always, and all of you for listening and improving and implementing and just supporting ultimately. So we'll see you guys next time, and as always, stay woke.
Much love.
Much love.